What's up, Big Girl Diaries family? It's your girl Jordan Hedden, and welcome back to my podcast, Big Girl Diaries. And in this podcast, I want to talk about how to adapt to different environments, how to adapt to different situations, and just a conversation about adapting as human beings. First, I want to start with a verse that I would love for y'all to hear. Proverbs 4:23. Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it springs the issues of life. This verse emphasizes the importance of guarding your heart, which can be understood as protecting your inner thoughts, emotions, and intentions. The heart in biblical terms often symbolizes the core of a person's being, including their desires and motivations. I like this verse because I believe that in certain situations, sometimes guarding your heart is the best thing that you can do. It's the best solution for and when it means to guard your heart, it means to guard your emotions, guard your self-esteem, guard your identity in a sense. And sometimes when you're in a different environment, it's hard to do that because you're around different personalities, you're around people that you can trust or you may feel like you can't trust. And I came up with this podcast topic, how to adapt or adapting, and because I have been moving around a lot, like in my life. I'm in a point in my life where I'm at one place, then I'm at the other place, then I'm doing this, then I'm doing that. Like, I have been moving around a lot in my life. And one time I was with one of my family members, and we were with a friend, and he brung up the word adapt. And I'm just like, yeah, I like that word. Like, yeah, because this is what I've been doing in my life. I've been adapting. Sometimes you're in situations where you don't really know what the outcome is going to be, or you're in a toxic environment and you can't escape. And I'm not going to say you can't escape like you're held hostage, but this is your home. Like, you can be with your family, or you can be in a place where you just don't have the resources to leave, or you don't have the resources to get the help you need, or just to survive. I feel like when it comes to adapting to a new environment, it definitely has something to do with survival. Like, when we don't think about how we adapt because it's really just a survival thing. Like, you just learn. Like, I'll speak in my experiences. I do feel like adapting to a new situation or adapting is definitely a survival thing, but it could be an easy transition to adapt, or it could be a hard transition to adapt. And I want to read the definition of what adapting is. To adapt means to adjust or change something so that it works better in a new situation or environment. For example, being flexible and making changes to fit needs or conditions. And my favorite thing about this definition is being flexible. In order to be better at adapting to different situations, you definitely have to be someone who is mentally strong, someone who has a flexible personality. Most people really don't like big changes, especially older people. But in my instance, I feel like I don't have no choice but to change and adapt to my environment, or not even my environment. Because even if you're in a toxic environment, that doesn't mean adapt to being toxic. That means, and that's when the verse comes from, guard your heart. I believe that if you're in a toxic environment, or an environment that seems like it's kind of difficult to navigate, you feel stressed, cortisol levels up, stress levels up, I really feel like in order to adapt, you have to make changes for yourself. Adapting isn't really about like being okay with something or accepting something. I think adapting is more of, how can I make this situation, how can I make this environment better for me? How can I survive? Basically, like when I think of adapting to something, I think of animals. Like I think of like surviving. And I feel like everybody can relate to adapting in this environment that we're in. When it comes to, Trump and when it comes to, people being deported and having to go back to places that they ain't been to in years, that is a situation where I feel like you have to learn how to adapt. Like, I don't think adapting is something that people want to do, because if I got kicked out of my home and you telling me I got to go to a foreign land that I ain't never seen since I was 2 years old, that's a difficult situation. But in order to survive, you must adapt. And I want to talk about how you can change your personality in order to be better adapt in situations. So we talked about being flexible, and I believe being flexible is the best way, is one of the best ways, but also being a listener. Being a listener and being tuned into what's going on. Like when you are talking all the time, talk, you can't really it's really hard to like digest or just like come to a point of calm and rest. When you're always going on and always talking, and I'm not saying don't say or speak your mind, but when it comes to adapting, I feel like assessing the environment is the best thing. And figure out what is bothering you. Like ask yourself, how can I survive in this environment with these people? How can I maneuver? How can I make peace in the environment without changing where I'm at? And that goes from like being in like toxic environments, or just being in environments where you just don't feel stable. And that, like I said, it comes back to a survival thing, but I don't want it to. Adapting really shouldn't be a survival thing. It actually should be a skill. It should be a skill that we can use in our life, because you're gonna have to adapt all the time. Think about it. You going to a new job, you're gonna have to adapt to the environment at the job. You're going to a new dorm, you're gonna have to adapt to what's going on in the new dorm. How do I fit here? How do I survive here? You're going to have to adapt to having less or more resources. You're going to have to adapt to someone changing in your life, and you might not like the change that much, but you're still going to have to adjust yourself so you can guard your heart and be the healthiest version of yourself. Because when it comes to environments, our environments are always changing. Our circumstances are always changing, but you as a person shouldn't change. You as a person should be solid and grounded, so you can be flexible, so you can be more of a listener, so you can be your best self in any environment that you're in. And honestly, setting boundaries definitely with yourself and with other people can really help you adapt to new people and new situations and new circumstances, because you know that, okay, I'm safe, but if this happened, I'm not safe. If something goes wrong, I'm not safe. Having boundaries definitely, and listening to your body. Like if something feels too stressful, if something is making like your heart ache, that means that it's not working. But you might not be able to leave all the time. That's the thing. And adapting, I feel like everybody knows how to adapt, but adapting in a healthy way, adapting in a way that you can still be true to yourself and still do what you got to do. And it's an interesting topic, because I feel like we don't really know when we are adapting or we really are adjusting. We just kind of like do it out of survival mode. But I feel like it's another way to adapt without like putting yourself in survival mode. You can adapt in a way that is more like, I'm choosing me. I'm choosing to guard my heart, basically. And it's just really asking yourself, like, what can I do to make myself happy? Like, and sometimes you really got to sit down with yourself and really ask yourself, like, okay, I don't have this right now. I can't do this. I don't have this resource, but how can I still thrive? How can I still deal with this situation? How can I get past this? How can I get back to myself? How can I overcome this? How can I get through this? How can I adjust to the change without adjusting my character and myself? And the way I do it is I have hobbies. I have my hobbies. I have my routine. I'm not afraid to be alone. I'm not afraid to, fall back sometime. Like, and it's sometimes you gotta fall back. Like, that's what my mama told me. My mama told me, like, sometimes you just gotta fall back and you gotta get back to yourself. Like, and in order to get back to yourself, you just have to, like for instance, I like to read books. I like to journal sometime. Now, I haven't really been journaling lately, but I like to take pictures. Like, it really comes back to, you have to find something that grounds you, and in order to make your experience better, because like I said, you probably want to leave. It's so many things that you want to do, but you're just not able to do. And that's really where you have to adjust. Like, I don't know what better way to say it. And I'm honestly working on stuff in my life where I'm still trying to be myself, but I'm also still trying to heal, like, and when everybody talk about healing, it's like, oh, what you, like, I don't know, like, I just feel like it's such a bad, like, motion when it comes to healing, but we're healing every day. And honestly, it is hard to heal when you're in a toxic environment. It's hard to heal when you have to deal with your family. It's hard to heal when you don't even know what you're healing from. But I feel like that's it. You have to go back into yourself and do things that used to make you happy. Do things that, like, while you're adapting to this environment, try to find the peace in the situation. Like try to be the person that you think the environment needs. I love that. Try to be the person that you feel the environment needs. Like, but then again, sometimes you gotta let people be who they are. You gotta let the situation. But but when it comes to, like, adapting, you really just gotta it's really like a mental game. Like, it's really a mental thing. Like, but when you choose yourself and you know yourself, adapting is easier. Cause like I said, it's a survival thing. It's not really like, I keep saying, I apologize. It's not really like something we think about much. That's what I wanted to say. It's not really something we think about much. We really don't think about how situations are affecting us. We really don't think about how we get through stuff. We just do it. We just do it. Like, I know my college students, we gotta go home from college to our family house. And we have to adapt to the new environment of being on our own, then being with our parents. And you don't even know what the vibe is, to be honest. But in order to, like, be your best self and continue to grow and continue to, like, continue to be the person you want to be, adapting is the best way. It's the best way. And doing it in the healthiest way possible. And I love you, Love Bug. And I want you to know that you're doing good. You are doing good. Like, y'all all my love bugs, or whoever listening to this means that you understand what I'm talking about, and you understand that, adapting is a survival skill, and we are exactly where you are, exactly where you need to be. And And life just be lifing. Like, life just be lifing. But I really love the verse about guarding your heart because I feel like it connects to adapting. Like, because when you guard your heart, that means to guard your motivations. It talked about guarding your spirit and guarding your heart. And sometimes it's hard to guard your heart. But when I think about that verse, I think about myself. I think about my needs. I think about my mental health. I think about my peace, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters, your peace of mind. And sometimes when you're trying to adapt and you're trying to like navigate new circumstances, it's hard to have peace of mind because you're just so like, oh my god, like I don't know, like you kind of be on defense mode. You probably like just you're just trying to defend yourself. Sometimes adapting is just trying to defend yourself from people that you feel like are a threat. Like, and that's another thing. Like, you may feel like people are a threat that are around you, but just know that you are covered by God, and God will supply all your needs. It's just a matter of it's just like I said, it's a mental game. Like, you may not be happy where you are at, but that's not where you're there right now, but that's not where you are destined to be. And I'm so thankful that you listen to this podcast, Love Bug. I love y'all. I hope y'all listen to more of my podcast. This podcast wasn't that long, but I still enjoy making it. Bye.